Coach, and then we'll move it on to questions after that.
Well, thanks for being here, and I can't believe this is our last midweek of the year. This spring has gone by so fast. It took forever to get here, but it has gone by really, really fast. And um, you know, we really like to play Southern Miss. It's a close 2.5 hour drive. Either way, if we go there, they come here. Quality program, good guy that's leading the team. So we're looking forward to playing them. And then obviously this weekend, another really, really good non-conference. That's our bye weekend in the SEC, and it's usually tough to get anybody to play in late April. And we were just extremely lucky that Louisiana had the same open weekend as we did. So we've known Jerry for years, and really glad that he agreed to come up here, and we'll play a single on Saturday, Sunday, and I think it's going to be a win-win for both teams because obviously they're a very, very good team. I think they were top 20 RPI. In an out-of-conference matchup, you don't get that very often in this late in the year.
All right, and if you have any questions for Coach Murphy, hit the raise hand icon, and we'll call on you one by one. We'll start things off with Brett.
Hey, Coach. You just spoke on it a little bit there. You're pouring to the non-conference schedule. You guys are using your bye week or open week in the SEC to schedule a top 25 opponent. For years now, you guys are constantly scheduling non-conference. Talk about how that's just a piece of the puzzle to get a higher seed in the tournament and allow you guys to host regionals.
Well, obviously probably a lot of you watched that game last night or the games last night with Georgia and Oklahoma, and a lot of my friends and buddies were like, a Tuesday night and almost late April, and I'm sure that was probably a late add to the schedule. But one year we went to Chicago. We flew up to Chicago, a direct flight from Birmingham on Southwest to Midway, and we played Northwestern and DePaul at DePaul when both were in the top 25, and I think it was the thing that solidified a top 8 seed for us that year. And our administration at the time said, go for it. We flew home immediately right after the doubleheader on a Tuesday night, so it was a very quick trip, and it was a win-win for all 3 schools because I think all 3 schools probably it paid off in the long run in terms of seeding, and it was just a neat thing to do. And with Louisiana, that's where I started my coaching career. It was the University of Southwestern Louisiana at the time, and that's where Allison Habits and I first met. Obviously, she was a player for us, and she played there, graduated from there. One of their assistant coaches, Lacey Prejean, played for us, and now she's back home coaching for the Cajuns. So it's going to be looking forward to that. And these late non-conference matchups are usually really fun.
All right, go ahead, Katie Wyndham.
Hey, Coach, outside of seeding wise, just how beneficial is it, just preparation to just get outside of the conference a little bit, just a couple weeks from the postseason where, obviously you'll have the SEC tournament first, but then going to be facing some out of conference opponents?
Yeah, I think it's good, and that could be a regional final, playing against them, and you never know. They're close enough where they could drive to us. They could host. They're certainly going to get in the tournament. They've won that league for years and years and years, and it's just a really good opportunity. They got good pitching staff. They've got great hitters. So it's going to be a challenge for our team, but it'll be, just a little bit of difference because it's not an SEC opponent. I think it'll be good for the team.
All right, we'll go on to Katie Holak. Katie, you there?
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Hey, Coach, speaking kind of on playing outside of SEC play and conference play, what have you and your team done this week to practice to focus on these upcoming games in an out-of-conference play?
Well, Monday's always our day off. We had a good practice yesterday. We played tonight, obviously. But then another positive about playing Louisiana, just the Saturday, Sunday, we get an extra day of practice. So we get to play tonight and then hopefully have a good practice Thursday and Friday to prepare for them. So that's a rarity because usually it's a quick turnaround because SEC is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we only get 1 day. But this week we'll get 2. So we'll get a little more time in the film room to watch some of their pitchers and hitters. You know, and I think that's good too, because at this point in the season, you know, the time of practice is going a little bit shorter as we go along. We spend more time hitting, and then we could go over film more. So I think it's a positive.
All right, go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Coach. I'm currently writing a story and remembering the April 2011 tornadoes. And two of the people that I talked to were Sarah and David Patterson. Both of them, you know, of course, their daughter Jordan was on the team at the time. And they told me about how you guys moved to Coleman to kind of get away from the tornadoes. If you could just kind of walk me through what you remember from that day.
Oh, well, we were at practice, and I told one of the managers, Matt Curry, I said, hey, if you get a warning, you need to tell us, because he had his phone and whatever else. And I think it was around 3:30 maybe. And he comes running up. He goes, hey, it's tornado warning, tornado warning. And I said, okay, everybody inside. We went inside the facility. And then I had a really good friend from Starkville, Mississippi, call me. And she said, where are you? And I said, we're in the clubhouse where we just took a break from practice. And she said, you're in imminent danger. You need to take cover. And she was literally screaming it. And so the two athletic trainers and I, student trainers, we went to the front of the building and we looked towards Mississippi. And obviously the sky did not look good. And I looked at the one and I said, do you think we should go to the Coliseum? And he was like, yes, sir, I think we should. And then the other young man was a gentleman from Japan. And he wasn't really sure what was going on, but you could see the fear in his eyes. And I had a truck at the time, and we literally almost put everybody in the back of my truck, and we drove over to the Coliseum. And I didn't realize that the Coliseum not only had a basement, but it also had like a storm shelter underneath the basement, which we'd never been in. So we probably spent the next 3 or 4 hours, you know, down in the basement. And when we got in there, it was the track team. I was shocked. It was the track team, the rowing team. A lot of the athletic department were already there. Coaches, administrators. I mean, it was like everybody in the athletic department had come over. And I remember going into this dark room. And at the time, I don't know why I thought of it, but I thought I was in a James Bond movie, because it was literally a desk, one chair, and then this one light bulb with no covering on it. It was just this light bulb. And it just seemed like it would be in a James Bond, you know, bad scene of the movie. But what was on the table was a computer. And I hit it, and it was on. We hadn't lost power. And I had not gotten to tell any of our parents what was going on. So I immediately got on my Twitter account, and I started tweeting, the entire softball team is safe and sound. We're in the Coliseum, you know, and I just kind of kept everybody up to date. And a lot of the parents wrote back. And, you know, I told them all at the beginning when their daughter comes here is just get her Twitter account and follow, you know, 10 accounts, because it's probably the best way to find out news quickly. And it was that day. And we had a lot of responses from people all over the country just from those 3 or 4 tweets that I put out, like we were safe and sound. Just, you know, it's a day I'll never forget. And thankfully we were all safe, and just a crazy time, scary time.
All right, we'll go back to Katie Wyndham.
Jumping back to this past weekend, you've talked about the after injuries, it's the next man up mentality. But just kind of overall on your team going into Game 3 or maybe during Game 3, who did you see step up, whether it was on the field or off the field as a leader, kind of getting the girls going like we got this in Game 3?
Yeah, thanks for that. And, you know, we were all really sad to, you know, Claire got hurt, and then Saturday morning she did her MRI, and Dr. Kane let us know that, you know, two ACL, MCL tears, so she was done for the year. And it just kind of took us a little bit. It was a shock to the system, and, you know, obviously you guys know she had torn her ACL the previous fall and missed last year, and then to have her do it again, it was just a sad moment. But Montana definitely big time stepped up. We just had, it was a group effort, I thought. You know, Taylor Clark played really good defense. Maddie Morgan played the best defense she's played in 2 years at third base Sunday. Savannah Woodard makes some great plays at second base. It was just a team effort, and that's what we're going to need from now on. You know, and you're right, it's next person up. You never know when your name's going to get called. You never know when the other person's going to get hurt. So you have to be ready at any time. And you practice like you're going to play every single day. Because if you don't, when you do get in there, you will not perform. It's just as simple as that. You will not get the job done.
All right, go back to Brett.
Hey, Coach, coming off that a little bit, we're about a month removed of Bailey Downing's injury against Tennessee. How is she progressing? How's her recovery going?
I think she's doing well. You know, her parents stayed for about a week and a half just to make sure everything was good. And the biggest thing is just trying to get around on crutches and move around in your car and your dorm and coming to the field, going to rehab over here, just the day-to-day, how do I do this? How do I get around? But she's doing all right. She came to practice yesterday. We saw her at the end of practice. Her birthday was Monday, so I think she's doing all right. She's working really hard on her rehab.
Any other questions for Coach Murphy? All right, if not, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thanks a lot, you guys. Hope to see you tonight.